Mr. Agarwal, my question to you is, why is the private sector holding back? Because whenever we look at growth figures, whenever we talk about investments, the statement that comes across is, and at the All India Management Association, we need to look at what's holding us back. Is it the regulatory framework or the policy framework? If you were to give a note to the government saying that private sector investments are held up due to X, Y, Z, what would you put as the top 3 points?
I think it's a combination of all of that. It is policy, it is regulation, it is a fear of many things, fear of retribution, fear of what Nikhil mentioned earlier, that you are so over-regulated, you don't want to overstep at any point in time. So it is a combination of everything. If you look at infrastructure, that constrains us at many places. If you have to go and set up a factory, you think about it, okay, what is the kind of response will I get from the state government? The big factories are encouraged. The middle, small MSME factories are not encouraged so much. It is much more challenging for them to navigate the ecosystem. It is, you go to an industrial zone that's coming up, and the application process itself is so tough. The application to give, to actually apply is in reams and reams of pages. You cannot really just go and say, okay, you know my company information, I've been filing taxes, why can't I get a plot of land? The classification of the land is not right. So factor reforms, whether it is land and then subsequently labor, is very critical. Today, you cannot operate at any time that you want. There are businesses that need to operate maybe in the night. You cannot do that. So these are all stemming from certain kinds of regulation. And I think a broader subject around here is what we talk about behavioral reforms. One of the subjects here was how can we make behavioral reforms and where should we make the maximum amount of behavioral reforms? I think personally I feel it's the government. There are 20 million, 2 crore government employees. If we change their work ethic, if we change the way that they start thinking about the country, I think that's one definitive step in towards how we can make changes in the country. The corruption at the smallest level has not gone down. It has gone up. Even at the middle level, it has gone up. The demand is much higher these days. So I think when you're talking about regulatory changes, we're talking about private sector stepping in, we have to look at holistically. And the answer is not that it's a stick that you wield today and it'll change. It's a mindset issue. It's going to take much longer.
Are you equally hopeful, Vineet, about this? Or is it something that we've been brushing under the carpet? For example, digitization, all very well. A lot of stuff has moved towards a digitized economy. But compliance is at entry level. How do we resolve this? I mean, there are state governments, there are local governments, there is the central government. It's the entry point. The finance minister announced that there would be a rating system for states. Do you think that's going to help, or is it going to create a political slugfest of another kind?
I'm an eternal optimist because there's no other way to be part of
India.
our country. In terms of what we're looking at as opportunities, I think it was mentioned a median age of 29, and we need to be very optimistic, hopeful for the future. We need to align ourselves so that we are ready for taking the challenges that are coming, and there are many that are going to come. Geopolitics, AI, etc. are going to be all challenges. And there's a saying that if we continue to do things the same way, don't expect different results. Einstein said that. So I think somewhere or the other, we have to keep changing the way that we're doing. We have to keep identifying. We're saying it takes 700 regulations, 700 compliances to open a restaurant. Let's identify and sort it out. And there are people who are now willing to do that. There are people who are willing to make those changes. And I think that is what gives us hope. The state level ranking is essential also. It is, you cannot be, you have these extravagant events that are happening, but it has to relate into jobs, it has to relate into exact investments, and I think a ranking will possibly cover that aspect. If it doesn't cover it, then then it's a political slugfest. But if it is doing that, then we're actually creating a lot of transparency in the system to see, okay, this state has really delivered in terms of what they're saying. So I think from all perspectives, I'm very positive that we are making many changes. I think I started my career almost 30 years ago. And since then, I've seen massive amount of changes. And I continue to be hopeful that there will be many more.
Let me throw up another common question, whoever wants to pick this up. AI. Movement in AI, developments in AI. Where does India stand with respect to that? And are we in a position to sort of cash in on the opportunity, or is it going to be a challenge going forward, given the pace of innovation in our country?
So maybe I'll just take it up quickly. I just came back from Silicon Valley last week, and it's massive. The change is just completely unprecedented, what's going to come. Jobs are threatened already. I think we are going to see first a wave of job losses before we are going to see a transition into a better structure. And one of the things that's going to make a big difference is not just AI. So AI plus humans is greater than AI. So the focus for a country like ours would be AI plus humans. That is, we as the population that we have, how can we use AI more effectively to be stronger than AI? As a country, are we prepared? I think no country is prepared. No organization is prepared, no country is prepared with the kind of change that's coming. So, but that again should not stop us. I think one of the advantages we also have is that we have a population of people who understand technology a lot better than most of our counterparts overseas. As well as that we do not have a legacy we don't have a deep legacy of built-in systems. We can start from scratch. So yes, it is going to be challenging initially, but extremely rewarding in future.